Hey guys, welcome to another Battery Podcast.
Today we are going to be we're gonna go over some of the halfway point struggles that we've been going through, because we're both pretty much on the halfway point of our main goals.
With Monk Mode.
With
mainly.
Monk Mode and with personal goals as well. If you've been tuning in, obviously my personal main goal is to pay off my debt, and so I'm sort of at the halfway point right now. What about you?
I just started actually training for the competition. Dude, this guy put me through a fucking intense ass leg day. His name is Chris from the Stark Gym that I'm interning at.
Yeah.
He's just one of those guys that knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't really compete, but like he's just really into the science of strength training or all that.
I don't think that, and that's the thing, I do not believe that you need to compete in order to be a good coach.
No, hell no.
Like, I think some people get into this mind. Oh, you never compete. It's like, that's complete horseshit. That knowledge is applicable anywhere. If you have the knowledge, and for me, the perfect example is do you know who John Danaher is?
No.
He's the head instructor at Renzo Gracie Academy, and he's the guy who put together the Danaher Death Squad. That's what they're called, and these guys are heel hook. It's heel hook galore with these fucking guys. Gordon Ryan.
They just heel hook you from anywhere.
Yeah, but like he's a master of it. Like the funny thing is, he was on the Rogan podcast, and he himself is kind of not crippled, but like he's sustained a couple of injuries. He has no world titles, and yet his students have amassed over dozens of world titles between just Gordon Ryan and Gary Tonin alone. You know who Gordon Ryan is, right?
I've heard of Gordon Ryan.
Yeah. So he is a student under John Danaher. John Danaher just happens to be a black belt under Renzo. Anyway, same thing applies with strength coaches, which I wouldn't, I definitely would trust if he has the credentials, if he has the knowledge, and the knowledge adds up, definitely.
Yeah, no, he was helping me with, since I started Monk Mode, he was kind of giving me some tips on how to get to ketosis and stuff, but I just realized right now that I've been doing it wrong.
From because of what I told you?
Well, I didn't really tell him exactly what my calorie intake was, or specifically my macros were, so he didn't know, but I'm guessing he would have known. But it's funny just because, I mean, I didn't know that. I was reading up on it, and it said one of the doctors, I think Ben Eichmann, that I was looking up, says L-carnitine is a crucial part of it as well. So I stacked up on a couple of supplements on L-carnitine, and I thought that would help, but still not really. And
L-carnitine is in the other MCT oil creamer that I showed John.
Nice.
So that's one of the supplements inside of the creamer alone.
Yeah,
along with a couple other different fats.
One thing is, I bought these ketone strips just to see if I'm in ketosis, and it's been like 15%. I think that's what it means. It's really light. Like when you pee on it, it's supposed to be super dark red or like almost brown.
Yeah.
And mine has been like pink. That's like almost nothing. And then Jesus here, like 2 days later.
Within 2 days, I'm already like in full blown ketosis.
Fucking red. I'm just like, shit, man.
But again,
prick,
you have to understand. Okay, so this week was a pretty heavy week for me because I started the Monk Mode program. Particularly the diet portion of it, which is pretty much a keto diet. It's a high fat meat diet, but what I did was I did a 40-hour fast
before you started.
So that alone, you reach I think at the 36-hour mark is when you start to reach autophagy, and so autophagy is basically when it's a process that your body goes through where it starts to recycle the dead cells in your body and flush any other dead cells out of your body. And this is the longest fast I've ever done. I wanted to go 48 hours, but I kind of just started it off the whim, because it's a hard mode reset is what it's called. So 48 hours is technically what you want to hit, but 40 hours is still a good crucial amount of time to fast track it. And yeah, so it's recycling and disposing of any dead cells in your body that's kind of unnecessary. And the other thing is you need to, the way I did it the right way. I put some sea salt into my water, because that's the other thing you want to do is when you're doing an extended fast like that is you definitely need to drink a ton of water, more than normal, more water than normal. And the other thing is you also want to keep your electrolytes and your minerals intact. So there's a danger. It can fasting like this. Right, yeah. Fasting like this can be dangerous if it's not done right, because people often assume like if you're gonna fast for an extended period of time, oh, just drink water. Well, no, it's not as simple as that. If you're drinking a ton of water, that's a good thing, but it can be a bad thing, because if all you're doing is drinking water, you're flushing out all of your sodium and all the salt in your body, and then you can go into cardiac arrest if you flush it all out. The body needs salt, so the best way to do it is the body needs minerals in general, and that's what I think you need to make sure you're consuming throughout the day when you're fasting. When you fast for an extended period of time, is you want to make sure you're getting your minerals in. So I also have magnesium ions. So it's a liquid form of magnesium that absorbs very quickly into the body. So I have that. I would pour it into my water along with a tablespoon of sea salt. I know that seems a lot, but it was like a full gallon jug of water, so it's not that much. And that kept my minerals intact inside my body, so I didn't flush that out.
They have I think it's a mineral thing. I'm gonna take a picture of it and just try to see what
if there's like a multiple mineral supplement, I'd love to look into that and find out.
I'll send you the picture. They take it at the place I'm interning at right now, and everybody takes it. And I think I haven't looked at it closely, but I just see everybody squirting a little bit in their jug or in their canteen, and I'm pretty sure it's that. But yeah,
minerals are very important, more important than BCAAs. Because you can technically get BCAAs from the eggs that you're eating.
The eggs, the meat.
Because all protein is just amino acids, and you're getting a good amount from that. But here's the thing: I think the mistake that he made was, I asked him what he was eating, and he said it was like 200.
My protein intake was not a lot higher, but still much higher than my fat intake.
Yeah. So generally speaking, when you're trying to get into ketosis, you want to have your fats at much higher
than my protein.
Much higher than protein, because what'll happen is if you don't do that, your body will then
your liver, right?
Yeah, I think it's the liver. I'm not sure, either the liver or the kidneys.
No, I think it's the liver. I heard it was the liver.
Yeah, what'll happen is basically any protein that you're consuming, even though you're not consuming any carbs or any glycogen of any sort, your body will convert that protein into glucose, and it's a process called glycosis.
And that prevents me from getting
into ketosis,
which is why I've been struggling for like the last 2 weeks.
And that's why I told him, like, well, you need to increase your fats a lot more than your proteins. If they're even, it's going to be a lot harder.
My fats were like I don't have my phone right now at the moment, but I think it was like 189-ish, and then my protein was like 210.
Yeah, that's significantly higher. That's like a
30
good
grams,
30 grams. Like 30 grams makes a big difference.
Okay.
But yeah, and so the other thing I told him is get MCT oil. So that's what I have. I have 2 bottles. I have one here at home. It's just one, like a flavorless one that you can pour into anything. And I have a creamer flavored creamer MCT oil over at work. So whenever I'm at work, and during my break, what I'll do is I'll go out and get some decaf coffee, and just pour the creamer in there, and that adds. What that does is, MCT oil is it's a medium chain triglycerides, and to put it simply, for me, it's a tool. I look at it as a tool. It's a tool that I use to fill in the gaps for any fats that I didn't get throughout the day that I should have had. That's all it is. And that's another reason why I was able to get into ketosis in such a, in a very quick, in like almost in a little bit less than a week.
It's been like 4 days.
4 days technically. But again, it was those two things that made the difference. Is not just the diet, but it was also having that MCT oil to supplement as to basically fill in the gaps for the fats that I needed. And the other thing is I started the week off with a 40-hour fast. So that, again, that alone, I depleted my glycogen storages. And also because, I was still working out and doing jiu-jitsu and lifting. And so that, like, all of that together kind of really fast-tracked my, my process into getting into ketosis. And then inside less than a week, and I've just checked this morning, I'm fully in ketosis. So
I don't think the fast would be a good idea for me.
No, yeah, definitely don't do it for you.
I actually want to try it just because I know apparently it's good for you. To get that autophagy.
To detox, you're literally you're reaching autophagy and you're detoxifying your body.
But I just lose weight at such a rapid pace that I'd probably be like at 100 pounds.
And look, you don't have to do. I think 24-hour fast, maybe 36 hours.
I'd say 36.
Yeah, 36 hours. After that, like, you don't need to go any further than that.
It's crazy how people think that it's not manageable or it's not doable. It's just hunger pains, dude.
It's all your mind.
Yeah.
And there's also, and here's the other thing too, and of course I got a lot of shit for this when I was a personal trainer, because these are all concepts that I would explain to people that I was working with, either my clients or people that were going in and out of the gym that I was friends with that would ask me for advice, and I would tell them, what I would be doing or some of the research I've been doing, and
they still think
they thought I was crazy. They didn't think I was full of shit. They just thought I was crazy.
Same.
And they're like, wait a minute, you're starving yourself? And then that's when I was so thrown aback by that. I was like, well, no, it's not. There's a difference between starving and fasting. Starving means you're not eating, period. Fasting just means you're not eating for a specific period of time. Do you see what I mean? And a lot of people just automatically thought, oh, that's crazy. You can't be doing that. That's bad for you.
Yeah.
But little do they know that that's how our ancestors have done it for millennia. And it's the best way to eat, honestly. And I've been doing it for 3 years, and I've even when I was eating, normally not keto, I was still doing intermittent fasting, and that kept even though I was, I would eat healthy, I would eat good, but I would have some cookies here and there, some ice cream maybe every other day or something like that, like a treat or something like that, and that it's still, I kept my weight, managed my weight very well. I didn't get overweight or anything. I didn't blow up or anything, because that's the other thing is some people, when they go on a specific diet, and I hate the word diet. I prefer eating habits. Eating habits is a better term. And when people get into a specific eating habit and then they get off of it, they typically end up blowing up. Well, that's because their body didn't know how to adjust properly.
Yeah, okay. I walked into my class a little late, and then it's just funny because I feel like my professor doesn't know shit, but then he's the what's it called? He's the track and field coach, and he's just going off on how the keto diet is like unsustainable, or like it's such a bullshit diet. And I'm like, dude, I know I'm not doing the keto, I'm doing carnivore and stuff, but like I'm trying to.
It's a variation. Technically, it's a variation of a keto diet. There's different variations to it too. That's the thing. It's not an end all be all keto. There's also the paleo diet, which is also a different variation of a keto diet. It's just.
But he's an old school type of teacher. He's like a marathon runner as well. What's it called? So he was just going off on it. He was showing us slides on like, oh, your brain needs carbohydrates to function, this and that, and like all these kids don't even fucking question it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm like, he gave me shit because I was looking at my phone just trying to find it. No, I'm not gonna look. Yeah. Well, he got mad because I was on my phone, and I'm probably not supposed. I'm not supposed to be on my phone, but I was like looking up shit just to make sure to prove him, just trying to prove him wrong.
Yeah.
And I was like, just like, does the body I know the body doesn't need, or the brain doesn't need glucose to function. So I just looked it up real quick, and he saw me, and he's just like, hey, put the phone away. I'm not gonna tell you again. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. But what I saw, or what I've read before too, was your brain doesn't need glucose. It can completely function off ketones.
Well,
because it travels, or it crosses the blood-brain barrier a lot more efficiently.
Yes. And the other thing you should have told him too is it's been scientifically proven that
he didn't know this.
Yeah, and I keep telling people this too. It's like one single measurement of glucose compared to a single measurement of ketone bodies. One measurement of ketone bodies provides 10 times, if not more, energy for the brain than one measurement of glucose. And the other thing is the measurement of glucose will burn a lot quicker.
Yeah.
The ketone body lasts a lot longer in the the energy the outputted energy that it gives you.
It's a more efficient way of energy.
And the other thing too is and I was talking to remember Johnny's cousin?
Yeah.
What was his name again?
I forgot. We'll shout him out after.
Yeah, we'll give him a shout out when
He's really cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's studying. He's into he's an internship for a biomechanics type of program. But anyway, and I was explaining to him how I was explaining to him the keto diet, and I was explaining to him the keto format, and as well as the intermittent fasting, as all these other ways of eating. And I told him, look, these are different styles, the different ways of eating habits, but they all should be looked at as tools. They should not be looked at as the end all be all.
Yeah.
It depends on the situation and what you're trying to achieve. For me, typically speaking, if I am gonna be, for example, if I have a tournament in a month, I'm not gonna use keto. I'm probably gonna use keto for the first half, and then that second half, I'm just gonna stick to only intermittent fasting, and then go back on carbs, and it's gonna be obviously good carbs. But it's like it's interchangeable. It depends on the situation. There's no one set way for the end all. There's not an end all be all form of eating. Just like there's no end all be all form of training. Bodybuilders' workouts are going to be radically different from a basketball player's workout, or even marathon runners' workouts are radically different from sprinters, short distance sprinters, and they both doing the same thing. It's just, you see what I mean? Boxers' workouts, I would imagine, are probably radically different from MMA fighters' workouts, and they're both doing relatively the same thing. It's combat sports. It's just they have to prepare in a different way. It's just different, and so people get so dogmatic. And then,
like, my way is the right way.
Yeah, they get so dogmatic.
I mean, I used to be like that when I was training. When I started training or weightlifting,
it's understandable.
I was more of a. Actually, I still apply more bodybuilding or more bodybuilding lifts, just because like I usually don't skip the gym, so I like to be at the gym like almost every day. Yeah. And when I hit legs, I go heavy, or usually heavy. I try to stick to the main bench, squat, and deadlift, powerlifting techniques. And then the days that I don't do that, it's usually bodybuilding.
Well, most bodybuilders typically incorporate a lot of strength training to begin with. It's strength. People that are doing powerlifting don't really do too much about bodybuilding. No, They're not really big on isolation workouts.
I do a lot of isolation though.
Yeah, that's and again, it's interchangeable. It's whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to achieve.
And that's what's cool about Chris, the guy that was giving me the workout, just because he knows all this shit, and he's the first person that's actually trained me that actually
knows what he's talking about.
Is fully well-rounded.
Yeah.
In most types of training, which is really cool. Oh yeah, the Forrest. Did you listen to the recent Joe Rogan
Forrest
podcast?
Yeah, I finished it last night. Yeah.
He was saying that a bunch of the fighters like keto or go to keto, but when it's like time to not, or when it's almost
game time, fight.
They don't do keto because they need the explosive carbohydrate energy. But once that's over, they like to stay on keto because it's just an easy, or it's a good way to maintain themselves at that weight if they feel all right at that weight or whatever. But once it's fight time, it's usually carbs are the way to go.
Yes. Exactly, and I just got done explaining that a minute ago. That's exactly how I do things. I look at them as tools. Mm-hmm. They are tools. They're formats to do things. Apply them, where they need to be. That was a good podcast because they really did break it down, and it almost shows the evolution of how fighters have trained over the years. Whereas the days of Forrest Griffin, I mean, they were grinders, and they were just kind of
just savages.
Yeah, they trained through everything. Through injuries, through pain and everything like that, and then ultimately
they trained at a 10 constantly, which was not a good thing. He was explaining that's definitely not the way to do it, but they were the pioneers. Yeah, of the sport,
they had to. Yeah, exactly.
They didn't really know the science behind it. Now,
Randy Couture.
He was also explaining that they still don't know all the science behind it, but they're definitely getting more. They're definitely getting better results from the fighters now because they got the training facility, they got all the tests, they're being way more scientific about it than just train through. Push through.
Well, and the other thing too,
you don't, you're not gonna be a fucking champion.
MMA is very special too because even though you like boxers don't. Johnny was saying boxers don't. They don't spar literally every day. They spar maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times a week at the very most.
It's a lot of pad work, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of pad work, a lot of head movement, a lot of movement.
Sorry.
And MMA fighters. They're striking coaches. They're probably typically not going to go hard on hard sparring, but when it comes to their grappling, they can go as hard as they want. That's the best. That's the great thing about grappling too that I like is that you really can go as hard as you want, and you can spar really hard
for grappling. I mean, as long as you guys are both, or your partners. Let's say you're both black belts, and you could probably do that. But if you're training with just novices, it's probably not a good idea.
Oh yeah, I mean, no, but my point is what I'm saying is my point is when it comes between striking and grappling, strikers can't really spar really hard every single day. Their type of sparring is radically different, whereas grapplers can spar. They can go 100% every single day, and it's not. I mean. They'll feel it in their joints, but it's nothing compared to what a striker would go through on a 1-day hard sparring day. I can't imagine. Anyway.
All that head trauma.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, so we went on a tangent on there.
We love MMA. We love MMA.
We love MMA, yeah. MMA is the greatest sport on earth, period. I mean, obviously, I grew up wrestling, so that was just a natural progression. It just happened to be. But not even that. My dad was a fan of it. He was watching. Dude, my dad was watching MMA way before it was big. Like my dad was watching it before, before Dana White was the president. Like he was watching it way back when Vitor Belfort and Randy Couture were coming up.
Yeah.
I remember specifically, this is in 2001, we were living in Santa Ana at the time. I specifically remember my dad and his friends, they came in to the house. This is the first house we lived in, not the second one. Remember, we moved twice within the mobile home. I don't know if you remember that. You don't remember that?
No.
We lived in
the back one.
Yeah,
right?
We lived in the back one for like a year and a half, and then we moved.
I destroyed the door. I stabbed the shit out of the door as a kid.
Well, this is back then.
Yeah.
This is early 2000,
Damn, I
like
barely
2001.
remember,
But I remember him and his friends. It was like on a Sunday. They all came in. It was like he had like 5 or 6 of his friends, like carpet, that were working in carpet, and they put on a VHS. Yeah, VHS. What up? Get at me, bro. But yeah, they put in a VHS, and it was like one of the early UFCs. And I thought to myself, what the hell? Like, I'm used to watching boxing. I remember I grew up watching Oscar De La Hoya. I remember Oscar De La Hoya back in his prime. I was a kid. I was like 7, 8 years old, and I would watch every single one of his fights, and as well as Julio Cesar Chavez back in the day. I remember in his later career, I was watching those fights as well. But I did not know what I was watching back when my dad put in one of the early UFCs. I had no idea. I was like, what the hell is this? And of course,
were they still wearing shoes at that time?
Yeah, they were really. They were wearing the underwear too. And
yeah.
Dude, that's like that Pride style. And so I brushed it off. I was like, my dad and his friends are watching some stupid shit, whatever it was. I didn't even understand it then. And of course, like once I started wrestling at like 13, 14 years old, and then I started watching like UFC like in mid 2004, 2005, I came up on Anderson Silva, GSP, Matt Hughes. Those were the days that I grew up on as a kid, like as a teenager. Those were the fighters I grew up watching. I remember those days. I remember the very first full-length pay-per-view event I ever watched was Anderson Silva versus Patrick Cote. And in that one, I didn't really get to see Anderson Silva's full-blown savagery because Cote got injured, like, in the 3rd round, I believe. He injured his knee. And so, like, Anderson kind of...
It was an automatic win?
Yeah, it was an automatic win. But, I mean, I kind of got to see a little bit of his striking prowess at that time. It wasn't until, like, the fights after that I got to see him. Like, when
he just demolished Forrest Griffin?
He demolished everybody. And then, of course... Yeah, Forrest Griffin was another guy I grew up watching.
Rashad
Evans. Those are the guys. Anyway, but yeah, it's so funny how I kind of went into... And then, of course, I went back to my dad, and I was like, yo, do you remember Anderson Silva and Randy Couture? My dad's like, yeah, dude, I remember watching all those guys. I remember watching Pride back in the day. I remember seeing Nick Diaz coming up. Like, he would tell me all... And then, of course... This is also during the time where he started trucking, and then over there he would buy like stacks. We still have them.
Yeah,
we have them. He would come back with like stacks of.
This is like early or like the night from UFC like 80 something through like
98, like late 90s through like early 2000s. He even had some Pride fights as well. And like we have those somewhere. They're stored away somewhere. I remember he came back with they had the box set Randy Couture Chuck Liddell trilogy fight. We have the box set. My dad came back with it. He bought these years ago. Anyway, so we've it's our NFL, I guess. Yeah, MMA is our NFL. We love it to death. Anyway, so back to our initial discussion, which was
tangent.
Amazing how that works. But we're at the halfway point. I started the diet portion of monk mode, and this week sucked because I was my head was not right. I was, and of course it was because of the
depletion.
The carb depletion. I did go through the keto flu legitimately for like half a day.
I might have gone through it. I was just. Yeah.
No, I did. I legitimately did. And it was for like half a day only. It was like on Wednesday. Thursday. No, Tuesday. My bad. It was on Tuesday. It was like that second half of the day I just wasn't having it. And I hated everybody at all times, period. It sucked. And then after that, I was fine. But
so it only took you like half a day?
Yeah, it took me half a day. Of course, because I was working out really hard. Again, I depleted my glycogen storages a lot quicker. But the other thing was I was thinking, fuck, man, like, I'm making steps. I'm in the process of paying off my student loans because that's the main goal right now. And I'm like, fuck, man, it's just taking so long. But then I was like, you know what? I just started visualizing I just in my head visualizing the day that it was gonna come and all the things I'm gonna do after I finish paying off my student loans. And I'm thinking to myself like, okay, is this gonna be worth it? Like, just gotta push through. You can't, you just have vision and know that it's gonna happen. And I know it's gonna happen.
That's I'm just trying the monk mode out for the month. So, I mean, the first week sucked because obviously the cravings just didn't stop. And I was just like, dude, this shit sounds dank. This sounds dank. Should I break it? I mean, that's usually during the day, and then after like the second, like after like 3 or 4, that's when I'm just like, that's when I go home and usually cook the meat, and I'm just like, once I have some meat, I'm chilling. Like the cravings go away. Like right now, I just eat a shit ton of meat, and I mean, I'm not even. If I see a pizza, I probably wouldn't even touch it, which is surprising because that's my favorite thing.
Yeah, pizza's. There's something wrong with you if you don't like pizza. There's something wrong with you.
Pineapple on pizza, I'm sorry, it's just dank. I'm not sorry, fuck you.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Dude, okay, so you never listened to Attila, huh?
Not really. Or,
You've heard of them. Okay, because so there's this band called Attila. They're like a deathcore band that I like them. They're fun to listen to. I'm not like the biggest fan, but I do listen to them. But one of our best friends, Tower, that's one of his favorite bands. And so Attila played last week in Santa Ana, and I bought, and his birthday was last week, so I bought us tickets to go see Attila, but I didn't tell him. And so when we got there, he flipped a bitch. He's like, "Oh my god, Attila, they're the shit." And then the headliner band was All That Remains, which is actually a band I listen to. They're actually a band I actually enjoy listening to. They're great. They're a fun band to listen to. They're very much like Killswitch Engage. And the lead singer, actually, Phil Labonte, I think worked with Killswitch Engage a couple of times. But anyway, so I was there for both Attila and Killswitch Engage. He was there for Attila. And Attila, they're a goofy band as well, because they don't take themselves too seriously. And so they have this song called Pizza. Legitimately. I swear to God, look this up. Google it. There's a song called Pizza by Attila. These guys are a hardcore party band. And they have this song. They closed it. They closed the set with the song Pizza. And what he did was, I swear, hand to God, this is what happened. The lead singer, his name is Chris Franziak. He basically, in the mosh pit, there was a big giant mosh pit happening. And so what he did was, halfway through the breakdown of the song, he stopped the song and he basically said, "Okay," because this is during the song called Pizza. He goes, "All right, you motherfuckers, everyone who likes pineapple on their pizza,
get in there.
To the fucking right, over here, all right? And anyone who doesn't have any pineapple on their pizza, to the left, all right? And in 10 seconds, I want to see every motherfucker break down and bash each other in the fucking face." And so what they did, a wall of death based on pizza pineapple and pizza no pineapple. It was a legitimate wall of death.
Definitely be on the right side.
Yes. And by the way, for those who don't know what the wall of death is, it's basically, if you don't know what a mosh pit is, well, I feel sorry for you.
You haven't lived.
Yeah, but wall of death is basically where half the audience splits into two, and then usually it's right before a breakdown of a song. It's usually a metal song, and once the singer calls it out, saying, they get into that breakdown, then the people rush.
When the song drops again or it comes on again, everybody just tackles each other.
It's a clusterfuck of people just clashing into each other. It's like
the movie 300.
No, even more like I would say more like Braveheart style. Have you ever seen Braveheart? Have you seen that main battle scene halfway through the movie? That is basically what a wall of death. It's basically the Braveheart battle scene without swords. That's what it is. Anyway, so pineapple on pizza, I approve. If you don't like pineapple on pizza, I feel sorry for you. You just don't know how to live. Um,
I'm like 2 weeks out from, or less than 2 weeks from finishing Monk Boat, and
you're just gonna go ham,
dude. I'm probably gonna get. I want to get to 114
in one day.
I could probably do it in 2. If I could get it in 1, I'd be stoked. But I'm gonna get fucking fat, and then I'm probably gonna go back to the regular. I want to do the 90-10.
90-10.
I mean, that's
it's sustainable, you know.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go once I'm done. I'm gonna go my normal full week out, and then Saturday full cheat day for me. I'd rather just do it that way because I can maintain the weight doing that. Surprisingly, I haven't had any cravings like at all, and I'm like yesterday. One of my coworkers brought a giant box of donuts. And then my other coworker brought this like monkey bread style, like that he cooked, that he brought up. And I was like, I brushed it off. I was like chilling. I don't know why. I should be. I don't know why.
My coworker brought Chipotle, but like the full everything. And I mean, I do kind of miss guac and fucking like all of the green. I miss some of the greens, not all of them, but it just looks dank.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
I'm honestly
I just stick to eating meat. By the way, Chipotle skimps the shit out of you. If you
dude. Well, I mean, every now and then, you'll get that one person that's like,
you want to give them a hug.
Yeah, exactly. They're the man of the people.
Yeah.
It's like I'm a man of the people kind of thing, and they'll stack you with steak or chicken and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I've been going, I don't go too often, but like, if I'm really hungry, I go to Chipotle and get like 2 sides. But I've done it I did it twice because like they were. I never do one. You want to know the trick?
Yeah.
Well, I went up there. I'm like, can I get a side of steak? And then they did it. I'm like, can I get 2 instead?
Yeah.
And then that's when they stack you. But obviously, you can't do that every time because it's the same people.
I do it every single.
You do it every time?
Literally, and no, the Chipotle I go to is down here on Harbor. Really close. You know which one?
Yeah.
I go there. The girls there know me already.
Oh, so
they know me, and so like they know like I do it every single. I'm shameless.
Yeah.
I don't care, dude. Yeah. I do not care. I want meat.
That's
lots
good.
of it. Like, and I will pay good money for good amount of meat. But I'm a simple person.
Yeah, if you go up there and just be like, "Can I get 2 sides of steak?" They'll skimp the shit out of you.
They'll skimp out. Yeah. So for those of you out there, the key to getting a
solid amount of meat in Chipotle.
Yeah. So what you do is, if you're ordering a burrito or a bowl, whatever it is that you're ordering, they'll ask you what kind of meat. You go, okay, can I get chicken? They'll scoop up the chicken, and they'll put it in there. However much they put is however much they put. Then you go, you know what? Can I get a second side of chicken on there? And then they'll have no choice.
Yeah.
At that point, that the ball's in their court now. You know, like they'll know. Okay.
They usually give you a good amount because if you just tell them both, if you just go straight up, be like, "Can I get 2 sides of chicken or steak?"
They'll like skimp out.
They'll I've seen them like. They scoop it up and then they take some of it off.
Yeah.
Or they like shake the spoon off. And then they put it, and then they put another one, and they shake some of it off, and it's just that pisses me off. So I what's funny is that my coworker offered to get me some steak or get me some food because I covered her shift last week, and I was just like, all right, when you get to Chipotle, tell her this is how you do it. I'm like, you ask her, can I get 1 set of steak, and then she's gonna give it to you, and you ask for another one. Just because I'm over that no food or that I'm skipping you out on that.
Yes.
So
order your meat. Order it like normal, and then once they do actually put because they think that's the only chicken you're gonna use, so they'll stack you the first time. Then you ask for a second one. That's the best way to maximize the amount of meat you can get in your burrito or bowl or whatever it is that you're gonna get.
Chipotle hacks.
Yeah,
that's right.
Chipotle hacks. And then if you are listening to this and you work for Chipotle and you are a man of the people and you stack us with meat,
you're the real
God
MVP.
bless you. You guys are the real MVP. All right, straight up.
You want to call it there?
Yeah, let's call it there.
All right. Well, we're 2 weeks out from carnivore, or a little less.
I'm 1 week in, full blown in ketosis. I'm about to go get my workout in. We'll see how it goes.
I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.